Hi, so let's do a quick analysis, and this was also what was planned earlier. So here we are going to look into the companies which have been on a good run throughout the last say 20-30 sessions, and we are going to find out positions which would be of interest to us. So going forward, just for example, today companies like JK Cement had a very good run. You can see this is the closing. Similarly, we can also see companies like Havels, Ashok Leyland. So these were a few of the companies which actually closed. Ambuja Cement, say for example, today the cement sector was running, and as a result of which, from a Nifty perspective, Ultrachem also had a good run. But my strategy right now is not to go for companies like this, which are trying to reverse after a good long downtrend like you can see over here, but rather to focus on companies like this, because the chances of this giving a more profitable trade in the near future, say for example for tomorrow or for Monday next week, right, the chances are very high, because the main reason is all the longs which are trapped over here, say for example, they will always try to book out profits, and as a result of which stocks like this are not going to perform very well. You have to understand the whole concept right now, which I'm trying to focus is, let's say that there's a very shorter window of opportunity for us, and we want to make some really good money, right? So going forward, as I tweeted during the market hours around about at 1 p.m., Nam India and HAL, they both are showing very good prospects. Of course, Nam India has a sort of resistance at 350. But for HAL, I think the next target will be the all-time high at 1550 regions from a target perspective. Voltas also is looking good, but at the end of the day, we are not seeing any meaningful positions which are carried forward, which we don't know of yet. Other than that, let's do a quick scan. Even see companies like Bandhan Bank, it has been in a downtrend. So we are just considering, we are only interested in companies which just had a dip because of this ongoing Ukraine conflict, and we are trying to see which would be able to bounce back very easily. Say for example, I also tweeted about ABB. It seems at the end of the day, good positions have been created, and you can see it was already in an uptrend, and then nice consolidation is happening. So going forward, ABB has much chances of succeeding, and from a target perspective, 2300 in a short term looks good. This is also true for Concord. Gave a very strong closing above the levels of 600. You can see it was dancing around these levels, but now going forward, Concord would definitely be something in my radar for the first trading hours for tomorrow. This is also true for RAMCOCEM over here. So this also looks really good. Pidilite Industries, definitely this is also it seems like there was a lot of positions which have been created. Until and unless a closing below 2400 comes, this would be good. Also Bata India was one of the stocks I actually tweeted. Similarly, it seems like there have been a lot of positions created in DALBHARAT, but again, we are not going to consider this or Indico, say for example, which were already in the downtrend in the last 20-30 days. Astral, one of my favorite companies, I tweeted about it when it was at 1840 on this particular day. From there, it has now closed towards 2040, and going forward, this is a very strong closing. And going forward, from a target perspective, 2200 should be achievable in a short term. So Astral is also one of the companies I'm always interested in. HDFC AMC is also nicely in a box. So let's see if it is able to close above the levels of 2250 tomorrow. PVR also, we can see that it was nicely. This is a very nice structure. So PVR is also one of the companies I would be interested. Definitely not Ramco as per the logic. And Lal Path and Loris, these are the two companies which I actually Lal Path and Metropolis, these are the two companies which I actually always try to avoid, because they give some very weird sort of movement which doesn't fit my trading style. FMCG was sort of okay today, and Marico was a very good runner today. So going forward, Marico should be in my radar, and that I'm sure of. For Balakrishna Industry, unless this particular red bar is taken out, I am not actually looking into Balakrishna Industries, but definitely it's also one of the good companies, and I've always tried to create positions. PI Industries, I've been talking about this, and I have been carrying positions from this day onwards. And going forward, I think PI industry, Pidilite, PI industry, PEL. So these are always some of the good companies which I am always very optimistic about. Other than that, Infi, sort of good run. But I think from a reward ratio, we should be trying to concentrate on companies which are not in a narrow range, but rather which are trying to give a breakout. Similarly, Atul also went towards the levels of 10,000. So this is also looking really good from a trading perspective. Sorry. HDFC Life also same reason. We are not interested in this minor bumps, but rather we would be more concentrating in structures which are sort of interest to us. Trend is definitely one of the companies nicely consolidating, and I am actually keeping a track when it will try to move past 1200, and then I would be creating a positions. But definitely trend is definitely in my radar. So now let's look at some of the companies which are not looking that great. So from a trading perspective, we can say that Cholafin actually made an all-time high today, and closing above 700 would be have been better, but we don't know how this is going to go forward. In general, this is more stuck between the levels of 600 and 700. Going forward, 800 seems to be a good target for medium term. So this is definitely one of the stocks I have been tweeting about since Jan of this year, and have taken a lot of trades, and I always keep on tweeting about Cholafin. Birlasoft is actually also looking really good in this old of this IT pack. So this is also nicely consolidating. Let's see if it is able to break past this particular. Deepak Nitrite is also one of the companies nicely consolidating. You can see it was below 2200 and now is just trying to hold these levels. So we have to see if a breakout comes, and then we would be jumping into the trade. Just like there was another company which I traded yesterday and I booked some profit today, was SRF. So the reason was pretty simple. Once it was going for closing above 2400, I created some positions, and today it opened at 24,877. From there it dipped, but there was this then it was again buying came from the lower dips. So these are few of the companies which I'm keeping in track. Of course, IT pack you can see is generally not doing that great. From a fertilizer, also Chambal fertilizer, UPL, these are not doing great, but one of this fertilizer company I was tracking, which I have to look into. So that actually did a good run today on an intraday basis. LTI also, I'm just waiting for levels of 6000 to get breached. Then it would be interesting. Else it is stuck between the levels of 6500 and 6000. And other than that, of course, LTTS, it seems like there were a lot of short positions created, so maybe it will again come towards levels of 4500. So in general the market looks not that bad, of course, but from stock specific, I would stick with few of the companies which I mentioned earlier. My strategy is pretty simple. Any companies, just like even Federal Bank, if you are one of the traders, since this has been in a range, so the chances of it giving a breakout is much higher compared to say for example IDFC, even so, where people are stuck between levels of 62. So whenever it comes and tries to breach that level, people will try to book out, because you have to understand there is a long consolidation phase which should happen before Nifty moves up, and Nifty cannot jump 1000 points each and every week. So of course our trades should be more focused on strategies which fit this particular narrative. Thanks a lot for listening. Hope this small video is going to give you what I'm thinking and going forward what are the trades I am planning.